Why, hello, hi, it is me, it is I, small town Didi, your Khadi and these internet and Akastracha and Bakalau yala. Okay, episode 5, listen, I'm behind. I know I'm behind, I'm always behind. Real Housewives of Lagos, episode 5, and I'm sorry I'm late. But honestly, it's just like a little community of us on here who are watching this thing. And I'm gonna try to I need to find a different style of doing the reviews where I don't feel like I'm long-winded and I go off on tangents and I'm running every scene, even some scenes that just don't feel important. Anyway, we start off where we left off. It's the last day at the resort and they play some game of some sort. They are just like games and stuff, okay? And Laura and Faith are struggling. They finish last and everybody's annoyed. Cute little scene, I guess. And then off to the side we have it's not Tanya and Choma pull Dr. Ramal to the side to have a chat with him about everything. He's now walking it back. I suspect Choma in her confessional says she feels that it's because she said to him, hey, while they were at the table at dinner the night before, she had said, oh, you guys will speak about your issues in private and stuff. I don't think so. I think maybe that has something to do with it. I think he just realized that Faith was paying him dust. He had time to go sit and, realize that, oh, I'm not coming across how I thought I was, and these ladies don't think I'm cool for what I'm doing. And maybe he has a good Judy over there in production who sat him down and said, you are looking crazy on the footages. You're not coming across good. Because he's not trying to clean it up and make it nice. Oh, Faith is still my friend. Her and I will talk about it. The fake concern of everybody really trying to be a shit stirrer and an instigator and trying to poke holes into the strength of the relationship that Faith and Laura has under the guise of, oh, we just don't think Faith has your back. You don't give a shit about Laura and who or what has her back. You all need to stop driving this narrative. You wanted to ice Laura out a game. She has somebody in the group. She's not trying to react to any of your bullshit. She's giving you guys nothing to work with this season. And you're grasping at straws. You don't care. Tanya's there. That Tanya, fucking sneaky. You pay attention to her. Great. But that's it. That's the last scene that we have at the resort. In the next scene, we have Faith and her train. Faith has a dress of the train. It's a thing, guys. It's a thing. I think we need to start accepting that this is how it go for her. And she's having a lunch type thing with Toyin. Tiana. So Tiana shows up to this thing. Faith is already set and they're trying to hash everything out. And Toyin lets her know that I had a pottery thing with Dr. Ramal actually at the lodge. And a lot was said about you, but I don't want to be a stoogie. Like, he's not gonna dump things on me for me to run back with you. You guys need to sit together and talk about this thing together. Toyin also says, I feel you were wrong to have engaged in that like back and forth you did with Miriam because that wasn't your event and you spoiled somebody else's event that they put together. I think Faith owes Iyabo fucking nothing. Yeah, I don't give a shit that she and Miriam went at it. Miriam is another delusional one. Miriam seems to think she's in with the girls simply because she was there last season. These girls cackle behind her back. The Skinner, they don't hold her in the same regard that she holds them. And I don't know when she's going to realize. She had Iyabo over to her home, right? And telling her about her fertility struggles or infertility struggles. And then for the same Iyabo to not hash out whatever thing that she wanted there, to then go sit with Choma at Choma's house and say to Choma, oh, I want to confront Miriam about something and I want to do it in a group setting. So she's placed herself somewhere within how she relates with these women and they don't hold in the same regard. And I feel her pulling away from Toyin in like an effort to bond with the other women, and she's gonna find herself out in the cold. Toyin is your only friend in this group. These other bitches you know from last season. That's it. That's it. You seem to think you're doing better than Laura. You're not, because Laura, unlike you, actually knows where she stands with everybody. And she knows she's not about to take a better for not one of these hoes. You're delusional. But anyway, they go to pick up Faith's son. We don't get to see that scene. We just see them walk out of scene to go and pick up. But in the scene, Faith mentions as well that we're not friends. Shows her in like chats when they started actually chatting in the inbox, and it was December 8th. She says, and I'm not sure when shooting commenced for them, but even if they started shooting like a couple of months ago, like September, still you gotta know each other that well. And she's like, we were working towards building a relationship for him to have these strong views of me. I expressed this in the last review, and I hadn't watched this episode yet, right? But this is how she feels about it. I can tell Faith is done. She says she's blocked him, because Toyin was like, when he was saying things to me, my whole take is, when you all started your friendship, I wasn't there. So now when things are coming apart, why don't you use the same number you all were chatting on to build friendship to then fix whatever fracture or thing that you guys are experiencing? Why involve me? This man has a disgusting character. Disgusting. And maybe he gets away with it because he's like compact, like he's like a little package. But the thing about dynamites and stuff. Miriam chats with her husband, warlock looking thing. Okay, whatever, I said it. Like, it reminds me of Ashley and fucking Marco over there on Real Housewives of Potomac. We learned that she's 36 years old. These girls, I'm gonna decide that it's the lighting. I'm gonna decide that when they're in their confessionals, maybe the light that they use is too yellow or whatever. And so you see the contrast of where their foundation stops and the rest of their bodies. Because in scene, they seem blended. A lot of them, for the most part, Miriam especially, in scene, she's wearing a foundation that clearly matches her. Like, she's not trying to be something that she's not. But in confessional, she always is looking yellow here. I don't know if she gets a different makeup artist for the confessional. Obviously, you have lights on you. You want your makeup to be a bit more professional and stuff, and to pick up well on camera. So maybe she gets somebody to come and do it. But when she does her own makeup at home, Miriam, fire that bitch. You look crazy. She's talking to her husband about that. She's a little moment where she's baking with her daughter, and then she's talking to her husband about, the surrogacy stuff and how she's going to see the fertility specialist with, I don't know if it's a cousin of Rose or whomever, who's gone through a similar thing. Yabo and Palo, her man girl. We have a little cute scene with them. Nothing crazy is happening. She's chatting to him. First, she's on the phone with Toyin. And then she's chatting to him about doing a sequel for one of her movies that had done well, I suppose, in the past. She dies in that movie, I think. But then she says she wants the story to follow her daughter. And she actually wants to cast her own daughter, Priscilla. I think it's not Priscilla, it's Priscilla. That's what people say. To play the character of her, the whatever, you guys know what I'm saying. And it's quite interesting because it brings about the chat of nepo babies, especially in the entertainment industry. Ice Cube had this chat a while ago that he will be one of those parents that clears the bush for his kids to have a clearer path to walk through, because that's what he sees people of people who've been racialized differently and people of other ethnicities. That's what they do for their kids. So why should we make our kids struggle? And nepotism is a very difficult thing. And every time we've had the chat, or not every time, but the most popular mainstream discourse around nepo babies is very much about the entertainment industry because they're hyper visible. But people in corporate will tell you all the time, right, that people get jobs because their uncles or whomever have been in senior management for however long, and they get pushed up and scaled up a lot quicker, a lot easier, you know. That's why people pay the school fees for these expensive schools or boys, whatever, to start forming those networks so they can have like their patronage systems working in place. You know, I know you're an Apple baby, so maybe you pull me in because you're definitely getting in. But it just, you know, it's like, does Priscilla want to be an actress? Does she have the chops for it? Or does it not matter because her mom is funding it, right? And her mom's lover is offering to fund some of it for a cut or whatever. Because the thing about Nepo babies is that when they don't have the chops, it's like, yo, we don't want to watch this. There's a poor person out there who has the acting chops, but it's like, it's my money and I want to fund a project with my daughter in it. It's like, what do you do? Like, nepotism is just ugly any which way you look at it. I think until you're confronted with it, like, am I building all of this to come and hire somebody else and not the kids in my family and give them a leg up? You know? Laura has a photo shoot for her lip glosses. I think she's launching a line of like tinted lip glosses. She gets out the car dripped in Balenciaga. This is the most put together Laura has looked. Truly the most put together Laura has looked, and she gets into the studio and the product looks good. She looks good. Laura looks gorgeous. Miriam, who's not friends with Laura, these people aren't friends, shows up at the buy invite, and Laura's like, maybe I could get some of her expertise because I hear that is very shady, what Laura said, because apparently she has a marketing firm or something, you know. That's how Miriam puts herself or tries to package herself, I suppose, so we don't just reduce her to, you married this old white man who's like sucking the youth out of you because you and Yabo could be the same age. That's what happens when you get with old people. I'm just saying. He looks a little bit younger. It's the curious case. And you start to look older, and it gets weird and blurry and aconized. But anyway, she shows up to this thing. They chat about the lip glosses, and Miriam is the one that starts the conversation of Faith. And Laura defends her position with Faith, and she says, you know what? I know what these women are trying to do. And good on her. Good on her for not taking the bait. And good on Faith as well for not taking the bait. Because they were going to have them bickering, and they were going to eat popcorn and watch the two of you scratch at each other the way Monique and Candace, how that shit unfolded over there on Potomac, right? You allow these other women to be little instigators in your friendship, and you guys ended up being the losers and the worst off, and they got to sit and watch and act holier than thou. They know better. They know the game, and I'm so happy for them. Truly. Only for Miriam to say in her confessional, oh, I thought I was called here for my expertise and now I'm being asked about, bitch, like, roll the tape back. You're the one who started talking about Faith. Miriam Bora, really? And then she goes somewhere. When does she go to the fertility specialist? She goes anyway, and they're talking about surrogacy and stuff, and she says that she's willing to pay the surrogate double for them to not have sex all 9 months. Of course you are, with that white man's money. That pregnant lady's getting horny and she's fucking, and you're not gonna know, bitch. Unless you're gonna have her living in your house. Okay? In which case, that husband, watch him. Because man, hey? I'm just saying. Choma does charity work. I hate charity scenes. I hate them. I find them to border on, they're exploiting somebody's very much engineered situation, because that's what poverty is. It's by design. And it's like the Mr. Beast thing, you know, the wows and stuff. It's like people. This doesn't happen if people don't hoard wealth. So like you're showcasing it for what? Like the savior complex of charity work and platforming of you being charitable is always a hard watch for me. And I'm not saying don't do it, especially in Choma's case, right? She auctioned dresses. People bought those dresses, right? And sometimes people say they doing charitable work. They fundraising stuff. They do the fundraising, and then we never really see where the funds go. But the raising was done, right? So maybe this is her attempt of like weaving her storyline of this is me fundraising. This is what I do with those funds, and the impact is showing. I understand the thread. I still can't consume savior, and especially white savior content. It's disgusting. I can't do it. It's just, are you sure? What are you trying to, what's the performance and who's it for? A man calls at the end of her visit of her doing all these wonderful charitable deeds that we're never going to meet, and she's blushing and they're making plans to link up later. But when I tell you that's probably her bestie. Anyway, Dr. Ramel arrives at some restaurant to meet up with Faith, you know, I don't like the fit. I don't care for it. Arrives and then waits a little bit, and Faith arrives wearing in white like an angel. He's over there in all black. Baby, I don't know. Faith gets there, sits, and is not talking to this man until she gets a sip of wine. This man is like, oh, I want to know if you're mad at me. He now wants to clean it up and Faith is not giving him an inch. She's giving him nothing. She takes a sip of wine and she's like, listen, get what you need to get out, because when I talk, I don't want to be interrupted, right? He's talking circles, Dr. Amar. Are you upset with me? He asked. I want to get your point of view on what transpired at the resort. Again, with the gaslighting, right? Because that's you trying to weave an alternative experience where you make somebody else question what actually transpired and what they experienced. This man keeps trying to convince Faith that I saw you at the lodge when I arrived before dinner, and I tried to interact with you and you were being called to me. This didn't happen. This did not happen. That man arrived, carried on about with everybody else except Faith, saw Faith. Well, this is what we're seeing on camera, right? Sees Faith for the first time at dinner, hugs everybody and snubs her, right? So that the other woman can be like, ooh, what is this? But then it goes awry. It doesn't quite go as planned, right? She doesn't feed into it. Everybody's experiencing secondhand embarrassment at him being a little bitch, and now he needs to clean it up. Says to Faith, you were being so cold to me. When was Faith cold to you? You're the one who went around kissing and being fake with fucking everybody, then went and sat. When was Faith cold to you? Guys, some of the things though. And Faith is not having it. Faith then reminds him, we were never friends. You don't know the first thing about me. You and I were getting to know each other, and you fucked it up now, right? When she was having the date with, or the lunch with Toyin earlier, she explained to him, he said a lot about you ladies as well. And I said this in my last thing as well. He's messy. He's a messy queen. He really is, right? She says to Toyin, he tried to get a lot of information or Google people also, and I had to stop him. Faith is somebody who doesn't want people to know her from secondhand experiences from the internet. She wants people so she tries to do that for other people, I see, right? Like Googling people is something she seems to find very inappropriate, you know? He doesn't. He wanted to be a little messy queen with her, and because she was getting to know him, she was moving with caution, right? And funny enough, he also wants to accuse Toyin of being like a little instigator, which is great. Yo, guys, people project, yes? But anyway, all of this is happening, and then Faith says her piece and gets up and, baby, if that man was wearing white, he would have looked like part of Faith's tail. Part of like the thing that she was wearing. Because there he was following after her. Faith is done. Like Faith said her piece and now she's getting up and leaving. You're fake. The reads are weak, always weak. You're fake. I would never want to touch your face. Follows her to the car. She baby, me, my pride, how I'm set up, I would have just stayed sitting there. I would have just stayed sitting there like, oh, okay, girl, you want to leave? Oh, bye, girl. Can I have a shot of tequila or whatever? Like, oh, can I get the bill? Like, I'm not following you to the car. To what end? Only for me to walk back in. And the people might see me be embarrassed. No. Your Faith. Guys, Faith is owning this season. This is Faith. Baby, for her, like, for this to be her first season, Faith is doing great. Faith is in all the episodes. She's getting a lot of screen time. Good on her. This is when Maria goes to see the doctor. Okay. It's sad she's going through all of that and it's emotional for her, but it's like, whatever. Choma's getting ready to go to Laura's event. Laura is having a launch for her lip gloss at her store. And she's talking to Yabo. Yabo is not going to make it to the launch. She's like, I feel bad because this time she actually honored my invitation. But if she felt bad, she would have called Laura to say, because the invitation was actually extended to her personally, unlike her extending it via Choma, which I still understand because she's extended the invitation twice and she's been snapped. I get it. She's on the phone and she's like, yeah, I think she's in America with her man. And so she's not going to be able to make it to this event. They have a little chat about it. And then we see Laura at her store and stuff. And she invited Toyin. Toyin with the theatrics. I love the lips that she has. She's a black dress on and she did like a lip thing for it. I love the theatrics. I love when it's quite clearly camp. Like you aren't trying to make it wearable fashion for everybody. You are literally expressing yourself through clothing, and I love that for Toyin. I love that she gets to live her life out like that and be expressive like that. And in the next scene, show up in a ready-to-wear gear. And in the next scene, show up in a larger-than-life. In the next scene, show up in something very comical. I love that for her. She shows up in this thing. They're excited to see each other. These two need to sit down for a chat. Toyin does owe Laura an apology, but she's never going to get it. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she will. Dr. Omar arrives in a pink little thing. He looks cute in that pink suit. It's really nice. They do the air kisses and stuff. Everybody's being fake there. Nice for them. And then who arrived? They go to sit down in a private like area somewhere, like with a backdrop and stuff. This is Toyin and Dr. Omar. And she's saying to him, you know, I had lunch with Faith and blah, blah, blah. And Dr. Ramal then says in his confessional, I feel like Toyin is an instigator, you know, and she likes to take things from here. That's you. That's you. That is you, Billy. That is you. Faith arrives with her son. I don't know why that fit was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Faith wears what she wants, guys. It's okay. Arrives with her son. Toyin is happy to see him because obviously Toyin just met the son we saw earlier. They're familiar now. She can say hi to him and stuff, and she's happy. I love when adults acknowledge children. It's really lovely. Everybody trickles in and stuff. Choma looks gorgeous. I love that fish is on. Tanya's like fits are always like, yeah, okay, girl, you dressed. It's cool, you dressed, girl. You know, nice. Exactly. I own. What happened in the scene? Arrives looking boring. I say Choma arrives. Oh, Miriam looks crazy. Whoa. Miriam had the nerve to say about Laura's fit when at the shoot. In her confessional, she says, I don't know why she was wearing that. Is it winter? And then Miss Ma'am shows up in this scene gloved up with stockings. Miriam looked crazy. Miriam wanted screen time because ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. She walks in, Tanya sees her, turns to Choma, they scan her and kickle and cackle and giggle and over how ridiculous she looks. Tanya confirms that's what they were laughing at. These are the girls you're prioritizing, Miriam. Yikes. You look silly. It's crazy that you're concerned with Laura's friendship with Faith. Meanwhile, you should be looking closer to home. The call is coming from inside the house. Looks crazy. Choma's like, I have some bad news. Before Miriam arrived, I didn't notice she wasn't in scene. I guess that's why she had to show up like that. They'd video called Yabo. Faith was there in the corner minding her own business because everybody got to speak to Yabo who wasn't there. Laura didn't care. Yabo I love this for Laura. I love Laura not wanting to get in with these girls, like, or be friends with me or whatever. She's like, I don't feel like Yabo was missing from the group or anything like that because we don't really get along like that anyway. And Yabo wants everybody to want to vie for her affection and attention and stuff. She's not getting any of it. She's getting none of it. But that's pretty much it. Dr. Amal, who's a kiss ass, bought some lip gloss for Priscilla and Yabo, who wasn't there and stuff, because I think he desperately wants to put some Botox in Yabo and say he did. Maybe other people will come to his little thing. Anyway, bye, Yella.